Hey guys, happy Saturday. Again, I told you I'm going to be back. I'm going to make quite a few videos today in parts. Instead of just making one big long video, I'm just going to make them in parts as I get to things. I just took down the town of wherever, and I just took off the tabletop section of it. Most of it's right there. Some of the tabletop on the corners there, and also the plywood from the top of this is there. That's pretty much all the supports that were used and going to be used again. For one of the things that I've done is, see, this portion of the layout, this big portion, was actually built out in the garage and then it was brought in. And then I'm going to show you what I did. This will be a good thing. Good idea how I got away with no legs. One of the things I do is, other than 2x4s, 2x4s I will buy if I can find good straight ones. But for the most part, when it comes to dimensional lumber, I make my own out of 3/4 inch BC plywood at $60 a panel right now. Actually, I priced it out at Home Depot. They're actually $60 right now, which isn't bad because you can get roughly about 12 pieces 3 inches wide, a little under because you got to take off for the curve on the blade, but you can get 12 pieces out of a sheet of plywood, and it'll make the straightest dimensional lumber you'd ever want to use, and probably stronger than any dimensional lumber, grade 2 lumber you'll get. This would be about almost grade 1 as straight as it is. And as you can see, I do believe that's 7 ply, and that's pretty, like I say, this does not bend. It doesn't warp. It works really, 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 really well. And like I said, at $60, dimensional lumber, grade 2, you're going to have to sit there and sort and try to find a good piece. And you'll sit there for a while in the lumber store trying to get a good piece of lumber. This way, you don't really have to sit there looking for a good piece of straight 1x3 because, hell, I made it. A little bit of a pain in the ass on a small tabletop, but with a friend and a few rollers, you can pretty much rip down a couple sheets of plywood real quick and like in a hurry. I probably use like 3 sheets making my own, and like I said, right now I'm taking the lumber apart so that I could save it and reuse it on my new layout because, like I said, this will last forever. You can put holes in it all day long and it still remains pretty damn strong. So, and as you can see, I use drywall. Just so you know, like I said, I don't use legs. So basically the 2x4s, if you look here, are pretty much, 2 of my walls are concrete. One is an interior wall. This is a concrete wall, and then you got a wood main support wall in this house. And that one there, pretty, like I said, is built a little bit stronger because it is a support beam for the trusses, so it's a little stronger of a wall, so I was able to cantilever off that easily enough. And basically I just take the 2x4s and I carriage bolt them into the concrete and carriage bolt them into the 2x4s on the other wall. And then what I ended up doing is, let me see if I can put this phone down. I took my workbench out of here, which has my phone holder on it. And let me take this bench off some way, somehow, so you can watch me take it off. Okay, let me see. Yeah, you can somewhat see me. Okay, let me take this off. This piece here is, like I said, just like any other layout. It's framework. It's a framed layout. Comes apart. Very light. If you ask me, I think the 2x4 or the plywood is a little bit lighter. Oh, here we go. Now that the main tabletop structure is off, excuse me, guys. And now you can see how the 2x4s are. See, they're carriage bolted in, one on the wall, and then I got a support on this side with a U support. There's one over there on the downside over there as well. Now you can put those supports anywhere, and if I really wanted to, and I think on my new layout, I'm not going to do a secondary top like I just did. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to go from end to end. I'm going to use straight 2x4s, and then I'm just going to use either a 1-inch or a 2-inch styrofoam top glued to that, the beams. But I'm going to double strengthen them in the whole 9 yards. Because I'll be honest with you, that was probably the backbone to this whole damn layout. I mean, it was straight as hell because all I did was tried to find the straightest 2x4s, which I did. I had to dig and dig and dig. Finally got them. I would have used the dimensional lumber idea, make my own 2x4s, and then just stack them and glue them and stuff, which I could have done, which is not out of the idea of it, but I wanted straight 10-foot pieces and 12-foot pieces, you know, to go in one piece. Whereas an 8-foot long piece of plywood, I would have to have a joint somewhere in it, and I really didn't want to do that. But yes, I could probably make them out of 2 of these boards, and it probably would be stronger and straighter than a 2x4. But I don't know if I'm going to go that route yet. But the 2x4s worked really good. They're straight as straight could be. And like I said, you can see how that section is. Like I said, once I pulled the plywood off the top, then it's another piece of framework like that. And then it's just sitting, basically, there's a couple of piece of metal latches under there that latched the sections right to the 2x4s. So they're all one piece. Now watch, I'll take this layout down and my house falls down. But either way, as you can see, it worked pretty damn good. Not too much damage to the walls or anything. Couple holes I'll have to fill here and there. But my niece is moving in here, so they're planning on painting the walls and everything else. So whatever they plan to do. But either way, you can see how the woodwork goes. And that side too is the same way. See, it's got the 2x4s holding up the framework. All the wiring still, I'm pulling down as I go. My knees are hurting really bad, so getting on the ground and getting under there and actually physically pulling them out again, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just pulling it. I'm going from the top down, so it's a little easier getting the wire out. But that's how it goes. It's pretty much all suspended from the walls right up until you get to the cantilever, and then the cantilever right there is on the wall there, and then the 2x4s are mounted to it. The section in the middle, it just floats. It's kind of connected to both pieces, connected to the cantilever, and it's connected to the main part of the layout. So it's kind of like a bridge section. That's probably the next section I will take out. Maybe, I'm not sure. I might work my way to it. As that was actually the piece that went in before I built the small end part of the layout. So yeah, it's coming apart real good, real quick. As you can tell, if you look at the last posting of the last video, minus the load time, it got pretty much, it's coming down just about as quick as it could. I mean, the hardest part of this whole project was peeling up the old foam. And again, like I said, peeling the foam off that plywood, if you want to reuse that plywood, is a booger. So, I don't advise, I really wouldn't advise, I think all in all, if I had it to do all over again, I would not put a plywood top. I would just basically add a few extra crosswise supports on the framework and just glue the styrofoam to that. Because styrofoam really doesn't really warp. It's an insulator. It shouldn't be affected by moisture as much. But like I said, I'm in a house. It's always air conditioned, heated, cooled, and everything else. So humidity, I'm not really worried about. I could always put a dehumidifier or humidifier, however I choose, in it. But the layout was overbuilt. I overbuilt it. Way overbuilt it. But it goes to show. I mean, I could put my full body weight on that thing, and it does not shake, does not roll. Actually, that's what I had to do to get the plywood up. Had to actually crawl up there to pull the screws out of it. So... But But either way, I hope this helps you an idea for your next layout to do it without legs, supported on the walls a little bit better. And like I said, the 2x4s are pretty strong. Just like I said, the only reason I don't have cross supports on this is because I had that. But I think on my next layout, when I do this, I'm just going to add a buttload of cross supports and then just put the styrofoam right on that, glue it to that. That way, if God forbid I ever had to tear a layout down, I ain't got to deal with all that mess. Just skin the 2x4s off and take it apart, and hopefully it'll come apart like I want it to, like this does. But I'm just going to save myself a lot of time and a lot of money. But I'm going to save all my wood, and I'm going to use that on my next layout for the cross support. So I will still have my pre-cut dimensional lumber, and I'll probably end up taking the top plywood and doing the same thing, cutting some more dimensional lumber. Have my niece help me with the tabletop saw, and we'll just rip a bunch more dimensional lumber out of it. And I should have a ton load of dimensional then. It might not be as long as I would want, but it'd be good for cross members. And like I said, I'm going to take this box frame here apart too. So either way, guys, I hope that helps. Like I said, just use regular 2x4 brackets. These were screwed in, but I just took them out. They ain't going nowhere. But like I said, you can build this stuff real quick and like in a hurry. So I hope that helps. You guys have yourself a great weekend. I'll make another video pretty soon when I get more of it down. And I'll give you a good idea how the wall supports are incomplete. Go around. So, all right. See you in a few.